Welcome to This Explainer. Look, today we're diving straight into the deeply fascinating and, honestly, kinda horrifying reality of what our ancestors actually ate. If you think you know the diet that built the human race, well, get ready, because you're probably in for a surprise.
Part 1. The Midnight Fridge Phenomenon.
So, to really wrap our heads around our ancient past, we actually got to start right here in the present. Picture a scenario we've literally all been in. It's 11 p.m., you're staring into the open fridge at a random can of soda, maybe some leftover pizza, a yogurt, even though you are completely 100% full. Why do we do this? Most of us just blame a lack of willpower, right? But that's entirely wrong. You aren't weak. What's actually happening is you're running a deeply ingrained biological reflex that is desperately trying to keep you alive.
See, your body doesn't actually know what a refrigerator is. It has absolutely zero concept of a grocery store. When you get that sudden, overwhelming urge to just eat everything in sight late at night, your biology is simply running an ancient scavenger program. It's literally a voice from the past screaming at you that you must eat while food is available because, tomorrow there might be absolutely nothing.
Which brings us to part 2, our scavenger origins.
To truly get where this overwhelming drive comes from, we need to travel way back to the very beginning. We're talking roughly 3 million years ago, long before we were those noble apex hunters we always like to imagine in our heads. We actually spent the vast majority of our history, literally millions of years, just surviving on the absolute scraps of the African savanna as scavengers. This was way before fire or coordinated hunting even entered the picture. So let's just go ahead and shatter a major myth right now. We were not the kings of the jungle. No way. We were the hyena's leftovers. Think about it. When a lion killed an antelope, the lion ate the best parts first, the muscle, the liver, the heart. Then the hyenas moved in, crunching through the ribs and skin. By the time our earliest ancestors finally crept up to the carcass, all that was left were the absolute scraps. Specifically, these thick, heavy leg bones that were just too tough even for a hyena's jaws to break. But we had one distinct advantage. We had hands. Hands that could grip rocks, these early Oldowan stone tools, to smash open those thick bones. Our signature meal was the marrow inside. Picture this: gray, slick, dripping fat that we just scooped out with our bare fingers and ate completely raw. We cracked skulls for the calorie-dense brains, which, by the way, are almost a pound of solid fat. We ate termites and these fat white larvae the size of your thumb that crunched just like shrimp. And listen, this wasn't some desperate last resort. This was dinner, and it's exactly why your body still treats fat like an absolute treasure today. It remembers the jackpot of a cracked skull.
Moving on to part 3, how fire built our brains.
So around 1 million years ago, in places like Wonderwork Cave in South Africa, everything shifted. We discovered fire. Now, before fire, chewing on raw meat and raw plants forced our gut to do hours of grueling chemical work. But cooking meat over coals, or dropping those marrow bones into the embers, that was essentially pre-digestion. Cooking partly breaks the food apart before it even hits your stomach.
And because we were suddenly spending way less energy digesting our food, we pulled vastly more calories out of every single bite. The result? Our guts shrank. And that massive amount of freed up energy went straight to one very important place: our calorie-hungry brains. Think about it. Your brain is only about 2% of your body weight, but it burns a whopping 20% of your body's calories. You simply cannot run a supercomputer like that on raw leaves. Cooking literally gave us our brains, completely changing the entire trajectory of human history.
All right, part 4, decoding our modern cravings.
So with these bigger, smarter brains, our ancestors' menu just absolutely exploded into an omnivorous buffet, and this directly mapped out the cravings that you and I feel today. Take modern hunter-gatherers, for example, like the Hadza tribe in Tanzania. They still eat the way humans did before farming. Get this, about 15% of their total calories come from wild honey. They will literally climb dangerous trees and get stung hundreds of times just to get it. Why on earth would they do that? Because absolutely nothing else in nature packs that many calories into a single, rich bite.
For hundreds of thousands of years, sugar gave your body two incredible things at the exact same time: instant energy for right now and extra fuel to pack away and store as fat for when the food inevitably ran out. A dripping honeycomb was literally the richest meal our ancient scavenger ancestors ever saw. And here's the real kicker. Your body cannot tell the difference between wild honey in a tree and a glazed donut from a drive-thru. It just can't. They both trigger that exact same ancient jackpot survival signal in your brain. And modern food companies? Yeah, they know exactly how your biology works. The food industry basically hacked this ancient scavenger craving. They took that ancient survival signal and turned it into a multi-billion-dollar business model. They pack our bread, sauces, cereals, and candy with hidden sugars. I mean, almost every packaged food on Earth is basically just sugar wearing a different costume. They do it because they know your 3 million-year-old biology just cannot resist it.
Which brings us to part 5, cannibalism and controlled rot. Now we kind of have to turn a corner here and look at the darker, much more unsettling realities of our ancient diets. And we're going to start with a pretty grim discovery in England's Gough's Cave, dating back 14,700 years. Researchers found human bones in this cave that have been cracked open for marrow. Now, a human body provides about 125,000 calories. A single mammoth, on the other hand, holds about 3 million, and the cave was already full of animal remains. So this wasn't starvation. From a purely mathematical survival standpoint, eating a human is highly inefficient.
So, what was going on? Well, this was clearly a deliberate ritual. Our ancestors were meticulously removing faces and shaping the tops of human skulls into drinking cups. They cracked human long bones exactly like they did those antelope bones we talked about earlier. They even carved these careful zigzag patterns into human forearms after the meat was removed. And this wasn't just some isolated incident. This exact same behavior popped up across Germany, France, Spain, and Croatia. Somewhere in our history, for hundreds of thousands of years, eating each other meant something profoundly significant. And guys, it gets stranger still. Our ancestors didn't just eat fresh meat. They intentionally buried animals in caves or cold streams for months. They'd leave it there until the meat was literally crawling with maggots and absolutely reeked of decay. Why? Well, because the bacteria pre-digested it, making it way easier to chew, and it actually produced essential B vitamins. And guess what? Your body remembers this too. Pretty much every fermented food you love, cheese, sourdough, beer, soy sauce, is literally just controlled rot. Your refined, sophisticated taste for cheese? Yeah, it didn't develop in a modern French dairy. It was forged out on the savannah when our scavenger ancestors were eating maggot-infested, rotting, buried meat.
Part 6, Trapped in a God's Pantry.
Bringing this all together, we arrive at this massive, defining biological mismatch between our ancient scavenger past and our present reality. Deep down, your body really doesn't know about grocery stores. It's blindly running this incredibly simple 3-rule script. Eat what's rich, eat what's rare, eat while you can. It's operating under the constant, stressful assumption that tomorrow there might be absolutely nothing.
Just think about this incredible contrast for a second. If you dropped a modern human into the world 50,000 years ago, they would die in days, completely unable to find hidden food or figure out how to crack open a thigh bone. But if you dropped an ancient scavenging human into your kitchen right now, they would literally weep. They'd look at those cold, sweet drinks in metal cans and bread perfectly baked by total strangers, and they would honestly think they had walked straight into a god's pantry. A magical place where you don't have to chase or kill a single thing to survive.
As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with this final thought. For 3 million years, pretty much every human who ever lived was hungry, cold, and tired. Our modern abundance is an incredibly rare, astronomical privilege. So the real question we have to ask ourselves is, how can we outsmart our own survival programming when we already live in a God's pantry? Thanks for joining me to explore this fascinating and, yeah, slightly gross slice of our past.